In one of the most anticipated cases at the Supreme Court this session, the justices heard arguments today over Tennessee's ban on gender-affirming care for minors. Similar bans have been enacted in nearly half the country. CBS's Jan Crawford has more on a case that could have sweeping consequences.
Competing rallies made clear the conflict. But in arguments, a majority of justices appear to agree. Laws passed by Tennessee and 23 other states banning hormone treatments and puberty blockers for children who identify as transgender do not violate the Equal Protection Clause.
If the Constitution doesn't take sides, if there's strong, forceful, scientific policy arguments on both sides in a situation like this, why isn't it best to leave it to the democratic process?
Conservative justices pointed to growing international concerns that transition medications are unsafe for children.
I think that would be very troubling to say that in such a evolving situation, we are going to decide what the right approaches are.
Liberal justices pushed back. One compared the bans to racist Jim Crow-era laws.
I'm worried that we're undermining the foundations of some of our bedrock equal protection cases.
And said the medication could be life-saving.
The evidence is very clear that there are some children who actually need this treatment.
LW is one of the children at the center of the case. She started medication to stop male puberty at 13 and female estrogen a year later.
I can't imagine her not on her medicine. She's a different kid. She's a healthier, happier kid. All we're trying to do is make the best decisions for our kid.
But a California mom who refused to allow the medication when her teenage daughter identified as trans and has since detransitioned says the risks are too high.
And anybody can go back into their youth and think about decisions that they made at 13, 14, or things that they thought, I'll never have kids, I'll never get married. But it changes. It changes over life. And once you medicalize a child, they don't get to change their mind.
Now, as you can see, both these families want the same thing. They want their kids to be happy, they want to protect them, and they both believe that the other side's approach would cause terrible harm. And as significant as this case is, the question of transition treatments, the decision could go well beyond this issue. For example, questions today, if the court strikes down these state laws as unconstitutional, how could that bolster transgender arguments for participation in girls and women's sports? Norah?
Jan Crawford, thank you very much.